Hello guys. Today I want to show how you can use advanced Carve in Carbide Create even if you don't have the BitSetter or another way or some other method to set your Z0 when you do a tool change. The way we're going to do this is by manually editing the G-code, but it's pretty simple. Now, it's not necessarily recommended to do this way, but it works just fine, and I've been using it. So, I'm hoping to get a BitSetter soon, but right now this is how I've been doing it. So, the first thing we do is we have our advanced Carve that we want to create here. Let's go ahead and pick our tools. So we're going to use the tool number 322, this end mill, and then we're going to use tool 327 as our V-bit. This stuff, it doesn't really matter what we pick here. You'll want to set these for whatever you want for your project. So we've set up our tool path. The tool path is generated. Let's go ahead and view the simulation and see how this is going to look for us. Okay, so now that we've got our simulation, we can view it. Looks good. Looks like that's what we want. So now, of course, in this case, we've only got one tool path, so we don't have to do the disable and save one at a time. But if you on a normal project, you're probably going to have multiple tool paths, so you need to do that, disable and save one at a time. But we're going to save this tool path, save the G-code. Let's click Save G-code. I'm going to save it just right here. I'm just renaming a file, so nothing to worry about there. Okay, now we've got that saved. So now, like I said, if we had the BitSetter, we could just run that file through Carbide Motion, but the whole point of this tutorial is that you don't have the BitSetter. So now I'm going to show you how we can edit this G-code. So go in and open up the G-code. We're just going to open it with Windows Notepad, but you can use any text editor. And now we're looking at the G-code file. Okay, so let's just talk about this for a minute, what we're looking at. So the bulk of this file is just position information. It's coordinates that the machine needs to go to mill out your project. So there's only a few things at the start. So this G90, that tells us that the coordinate system is always going to stay the same. G20, this is important if you're working in inches. It says that these units are in inches. Anything in parentheses is just a comment, so that's basically ignored by the machine. M05 is stop the spindle, and M0 is stop the program. T322, that's our tool. If you remember, tool 322 was what I picked for the end mill. And then M03, that starts the spindle at a speed of 18,000. Now, of course, a lot of these commands are not really necessary on the Shapeoko because, for example, we don't really have automatic spindle control, and we definitely don't have automatic spindle speed control. At least, I mean, even if you're using the bit runner, which can turn your router on and off, it still can't control the speed. But if you, these could potentially, if you're, I guess, maybe a real advanced. But then basically we've got G0 and G01. And G0 is a rapid position, and G01 is, so G0, that's like for when you're doing your retracts, tool repositions, and then G01, that's when you're moving in a straight line at the specified feed rate. G02, move in a circle. G03, move in a circle counterclockwise. Anyways, so that's just kind of basically the overview of what we've got in this G-code file. But now to split the file, how do we do that? So the first thing, let's go ahead and let's copy these first few lines, or save these first few lines. Oh no, I've already got them saved. So let's save those lines of code. Okay. Now let's do this edit find, and we're going to look for the T character. And I'm searching out. So there's only two T's because we only use two tools. We use a tool 327, which is the V bit, and we use a tool 322, which is the end mill. So what we're going to do is we're going to split this into two files. We do a Control Shift End, Control Copy, paste this into a new file. Okay, tool 327. Now let's not forget, let's bring in this initialization information. Okay, there we go. And now let's just save this. File, save as. This is VBit 327 Advanced vCarve. So let's just save that. Okay. Now let's go back and open the original file. Okay. Now we need to save the first half of it. So we can do a Control Shift Home, save all that. Paste it in. Check that we've got our initialization information. Let's go ahead and save this file. This is our 322 bit, so we know that's our end mill. Save that. And now we're done. Then the only other thing you might need to do is, if you had saved these as .txt, you need to change that extension from .txt. It needs to say .nc for Carbide Motion. Otherwise, Carbide Motion won't like it, or I don't think Carbide Motion will even recognize it. But you just need to change that to .nc if you didn't do it while you were saving. And then you can just load these like you would any other G-code file in Carbide Motion, run your project, and there you go. That's how to use Advanced vCarve without the BitSetter. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, if it helped you out, go ahead and give it a thumbs up.